Broadcasting live from atop the Rocky Mountains, the crossroads of the West. You are listening to the Liberty Roundtable Radio Talk Show.
Happy to have you along, my fellow Americans. Melania, the movie in the news. Donald Trump says people will be prosecuted for the fraudulent elections in 2020. Pray that's true. Others are saying, hey, man, this SAFE Act is going to pass. Donald's against it, but he's for it. That's confusing. We'll drill into that. Judge blocks deportations. We'll get into that for the Haitians. Melania has a bold message to the youth. Hey, no job report. I say no crisis. Happy to have you along, my fellow Americans. I'm Sam Bushman, and this is hard-hitting, truth-telling news the networks refuse to use. And in the House, the good sheriff, Sheriff Richard Mack, president and founder of the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. With me now, CSPOA.org. Welcome back, Sheriff.
Thanks so much, Sam. It's great to be back with you this beautiful Tuesday morning.
Amen to that, and it's more beautiful in Phoenix. All winter long, it's just as beautiful as it could possibly be, almost, isn't it, Sheriff?
It really is. Yeah, it was a pleasure to be out walking around last night after we went to the movie Melania. Before and after, we were actually there early and walking around the mall, and it's an outdoor mall, so I loved it. It was beautiful. It couldn't have been an absolute good just being there. This really is beautiful. You've been here before during this time of year, and
it's a blessed thing. I only criticize it when it's so dang hot everybody wants to run indoors. But you know what? All winter long, Arizona is one of the places to be. Dry weather, so it's not all humid, just delightful. The sun's out, but the air's crisp. It's just awesome. Anyway, enough of that, ladies and gentlemen. The film Melania smashes expectations, $7+ million. That's for the box office opening, and that is incredible for a documentary. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. The movie Melania exceeded expectations and forecasts, more than $7 million, and I guess they had projections that didn't even meet that. They thought it won't do as well because, again, it's a documentary, and documentaries, compared to movies, just don't have the numbers. Now, here's the interesting thing about this. Amazon, it's called MGM Studios, it's the film division of Amazon, put in $75 million to make this movie happen. They funded the whole thing for Melania. And they spent like $40 million creating the film or something like that, and then $35 million more to market it and promote it. It's in theaters across the nation. Well, the good sheriff went. Sheriff, what happened, sir?
Well, Sam, first of all, I want to be on the record of saying I said this to some people at the theater. I really think Melania Trump is a class act. She carries herself so well. Obviously, she's a professional model, and it's obvious. I mean, she really carries herself well. I like the way she talks. I like her accent. I like her caring attitude towards others and children, and I think she's just overall, I think she's a good person, and she looks like the epitome of a first lady. However, on the other hand, Don and I did specifically go to the theater, the Harkins Theater at Santan Mall, to watch her movie. I did not last 15 minutes. I really wanted to stay. I wanted to watch it, but it was all about fashion and picking china and picking.
That's you, Sheriff.
Say that again.
That's you. Come on.
Oh yeah, right. So I turned to my wife and I said, "I'm going to go to Greenland too." And I said, "Do you want to go with me?" She goes, "No, I like this." And so my wife and I separated, and I went to Greenland. And to be honest with you, the Melania movie was well attended. There was about 50, 60 people there. And there was no one at Greenland. I was all by myself when I went in there.
Well, there's several things. I want to break this down because I want to talk about movies. And I saw Greenland. I don't know if you call it one, but the original Greenland.
Right.
Great movie. I want to get into two in just a second. But so your wife loved it. Even after she watched the whole thing, she thought it was a good movie, right?
Yeah, she did. She liked it.
Now, don't you have enough grace, Sheriff, to stay with your wife and just, smile and eat popcorn and endure it? Come on now.
Nope.
No, you literally bail and leave. Oh, man. So you guys both just watched the movie by yourself?
Well, she had other people around her, but I didn't. And
okay, there you go.
I could, and Greenland 2 was, as expected, very, very exciting.
Did it fulfill expectations? Because the first version was great. Usually on, the second movie, a lot of times they stretch and struggle and kind of, I don't know, try to put in filler for time and all that kind of stuff. Was it great all the way through?
Yeah, pretty much. It was rock'em sock'em the whole time, and it was it was one of these doomsday movies.
Yes,
and so wow, it was it was a heartthrob the whole time, and very intense, very, very intense. And so afterwards, I went back to her, and I saw the last 5 minutes of Melania. And I said, so how was it? And she said, oh, I liked it, and so I said, okay, well, good. That's more her thing, and it wasn't really my thing. And I no cut towards Melania, because I still think she's a class act. But I just wasn't into the picking the china thing and picking the hors d'oeuvres. And it even showed her wardrobe and how people that were in charge of her wardrobe, the tailors and whatnot, were all about cutting the white cloth, and I said, I'm sorry that it lost me there, and my wife's into that sort of thing. I'm not even close to being in that sort of thing. So, if they had something about the Patriots and the Seahawks game, but that brings up another story too. I need to ask a question: Is who's performing at the halftime? Because
that's a big debate.
Yeah,
who's going to perform?
That.
And I'll tell you what else is going on. We'll get into this in just a minute. Remind me on this. But the interesting thing is the halftime show is being contested. Even Turning Point USA talking about creating their own halftime show. It's very, very strange. We'll get into that in a minute. But really quick on the Melania thing, it already raised over $7 million. Blasted expectations. Whether it'll get the $75 million and they'll make their money back or not, I have my doubts. But they're marketing it heavily, which I find interesting. Now, the original Greenland movie, as far as I understand, brought in like $52 million, $52.3 million, and it was mostly international on that.
Yeah.
Now, they say that the second Greenland 2 has only made about $20 million so far, way below expectations. So it won't take Melania long, a couple more weekends, and she'll eclipse that, I'm confident. Now, whether they'll make their money back entirely is yet to be seen, but I find that interesting. I wanted to go see it now. The good sheriff's making me hesitate, although my girls, I'm sure, would love it. So maybe we send the girls to the...
No, I want you to go.
Maybe we send the girls to the Melania movie, because, Sheriff, you think you're not fashion?
Yeah.
Buddy, I'm as far from fashion as you can get.
No, well,
I'm the guy that just says, put on your Levi's and your T-shirt, and why would you ever dress up, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I want you to go to. I want you to see it and see.
I don't get to see Greenland 2 while my wife gets to see Melania like you did.
Well, try to coincide that when you go, just in case you need a plan B. Be ready.
There you go.
Take one of your boys with you and take Zach with you or something. See if you could sneak over to Greenland. And
one of the things we thought we would do too is there's so many movies out right now that we want to see. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
For example, I want to go see tonight, or I'm going to go see tonight, I should say. What is it? Sing Song, whatever it is. It's the movie about
Blue, and it's a fantastic movie.
I'm going to go see that tonight. It's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
You're going to love that. If you like Neil Diamond and you like Neil Diamond music,
I like Neil Diamond music. I want to see this.
I grew up loving Neil Diamond. So
anyway, I'm super excited about that. So we also kind of thought maybe Melania, we don't see it in the theaters. Maybe we just rent it on Amazon. It should be out on Amazon. I don't know, whatever you call it, Prime Plus or paid. Pretty soon we could watch it that way too. Maybe we do that. That way I can kind of breeze in and out and know what's going on. But
it was, if it had been more about Trump and golfing and stuff, maybe, but
yeah, you would have liked it.
But
one of the things I think I would love to see a movie though about her life. Being an immigrant. One of the things we do over at Loving Liberty, we have a show called Ask an Immigrant. If you want to know what's great about America, ask an immigrant. Yeah. So I'd love to see a story about her whole life rather than just the 20 days before Donald. That's really about Donald. It's just what did she do in the background. I want to know about Melania, and I'd love to hear more about her life. Personally, that would be incredible to me. When we get back, though, we're going to continue these discussions, ladies and gentlemen. It is, entertainment time with a good sheriff? I love it. All right, we're talking about movies with the good sheriff. Yes, indeed. Sheriff Richard Mack with me. Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association, CSPOA.org. Become a member today. That's how you help us make sure law enforcement understands they work for us. Due process vital. Probable cause absolutely critical, and the good sheriff can uphold that for us if we learn to back our constitutional sheriffs. If they're not constitutional, give them a chance, folks. Be kind, be gentle, but at the same time, if they won't eventually cooperate, you got to find somebody who is constitutional. The CSPOA is designed to help you do just that and understand jurisdictional boundaries. And man, we do a lot. We train the public, we train public officials, we train law enforcement officers. It's all about de-escalation. It's all about protecting the citizens. I'm just telling you, CSPOA.org. Become a member today, would you please? All right, back to movies, Sheriff. So Greenland 2 was good. You liked it, and I should go see it, right?
Yeah. It's really a powerful movie. It's obviously a very clean movie, and I no F-bombs and no sex. Just a good, solid, and very intense thriller. And it's just one thrilling thing after another, and close calls, and wow. But yeah, it's a good movie. I liked it.
And I need to go see the Neil Diamond movie too, you're saying?
Absolutely. That I only saw it once. Don and I saw it together a couple of weeks ago, and I want to go see it again. I'll definitely rent that.
Right. That's exciting. I'm going to see that tonight for sure. Already got my tickets, getting some popcorn, and I'm ready to go on that.
You'll love it. Yeah,
there's just so many good things. When I was a kid, there wasn't that many good movies out, really, comparatively speaking. There was a lot of rated PG, 13, and whatever it is, 17, R, and all that kind of stuff, movies. And there wasn't a lot of good offerings. Nowadays, though, with Angel Studios and several others, there's a lot of good movies to go see now. There really is. And I really spend the time on this because I want people to understand, we need to back quality entertainment. And when you go to like the Neil Diamond movie or the Melania movie or Greenland 2, or, there's several of them. I'm just telling you, it really makes that kind of entertainment possible. And I just think there was a vacuum for a long time that had nothing but bad stuff to fill it. And now I'm delighted to see people taking action and really changing the game, Sheriff. It's something to watch.
Yeah, I was thinking that the other day too, when they showed one of the best movies ever, and probably obviously one of the best Western movies, The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. I mean, that's like for an Italian movie, that had kind of weird sound effects and stuff. That was absolutely an amazing movie, and I love the music from that too. And so yeah, back in the day when there were really movies, Godfather and man, oh man, I love the movies back then, 60s and 70s, and fantastic. I didn't see Gone with the Wind until I was like a teenager, and I was really impressed for a teenager. Just a boy that cared about chasing girls and playing football. I love that movie. I thought it was fantastic, and I still like it. 10 Commandments, I really loved that movie as well. Ben-Hur, another one. But I've always been into the movies. I've always liked, obviously, a good movie. Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe. Which young boy in the 50s and 60s didn't have a crush on Marilyn Monroe? So I think you're right. I think movies have taken a hit in the last 20, 30 years. But you will love the one about Neil Diamond. In fact, it's not about Neil Diamond. It's about some people who did his music, and it's a couple, and male and female, and how they got together and their love life and love story, and how they revive some of Neil Diamond's songs. And in fact, when the movie started, I said, if they don't do Suleiman, I'm going to be really disappointed. And it was one of their main presentations. They really spent a lot of time on it. Oh, you can't do Suleiman. It's too boring. And they, oh my goodness, they knocked it out.
Yeah, but this is where, again, you have the critics, you have the, what do they call them? Ebert or whatever it is.
Siskel and Ebert. Yeah.
Siskel and Ebert. Yeah. Those guys. And they do the thumbs up, thumbs down or whatever. But, we used to kind of think whatever they had to say was real. Now we're finding out that audiences don't care what they have to say anymore. Audiences go to it like Melania. They down that big time. And now people are loving Melania. A lot of people are, even if it's boring for the good sheriff who wants action. Right. And stuff. But I'm just saying people are starting to realize some of the Angel Studios stuff, the pay it forward stuff. They thought that would never take, hold.
Well,
and man, with The Chosen and with a lot of the movies they're doing now, I pay it forward almost every movie because it's so good that I just want to make sure that other people can see it and that these new models and these new efforts are huge.
Well, I got to tell you right there is absolutely true, because one of our favorite movies this year, this past 2025, was Escaping Germany. Escape from Germany. And it was about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints get all the missionaries out of Germany before.
Yeah, that was an incredible movie.
And not only that, the star of that, the elder who was in charge of going back and forth, kind of like Harriet Tubman, getting all the missionaries out of Germany. I told my wife, I said, you see that kid right there? And she goes, oh, yeah. And I said, that's who I want playing me in the movie about Sheriff Mack. I said, that's the kid. I want him playing young Sheriff Mack. She goes, yeah, she really liked the idea. She said he would be perfect. So I still
that's going to cost a chunk of change to get that done. But it is possible. By the way, my cousin's in that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What part did he play?
I think he's the guy that stamps the when he goes through and they have to get their thing stamped or whatever. And at first it's being challenged and it's like, no. And then he comes and stamps it.
He was the main German?
So there you go.
What was he, the main German?
Well, I don't know when you say the main German. I don't think so. I think he was the guy that
like cruel.
No, he wasn't the cruel guy. He was the guy that actually got them off the hook and stamped their passes.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, he wasn't that guy. No.
All right.
So anyway, here's what's planned for the Super Bowl halftime show, Sheriff.
Okay.
Yeah, what is it? Sunday, February 8th coming up?
Yes.
All right. By the way, I ignore a lot of this on Sunday. I don't think they should be playing on Sunday in the first place, but that's me. Bad Bunny is the headliner, Sheriff, who is a Latin music star from Puerto Rico and really hates America, downs America, wants to do it in Spanish and kind of balk the American people. In my opinion, just a bad person. They say it marks a historic moment because Bad Bunny is the first solo Latino artist to do the halftime show. So they're not saying that he's, that nobody Latin's ever been there. They're just saying that he's the first guy to kind of be the solo key headliner. They say it's going to.
Well, Jennifer Lopez and Shakira did it one year, and they're both Latin.
Yeah, but that's two people, Sheriff.
Yeah,
it's not one person. This is the guy that by himself to carry it. Anyway, they say the show typically lasts about 12 to 14 minutes. And I think people watch the halftime show often more than the game, but that's just me.
Right.
But the problem is people are not happy with this because the guy is, perverted and all this kind of stuff.
Well,
a lot of his
week we had
song and language is not good.
We had your pastor friend on last week who said, let's boycott it because of him.
Exactly. So they say before halftime, other big name acts will be involved for the pregame festivities and all this kind of stuff. I mean, they maximize everything out of this thing they possibly can. They say Green Day will perform.
So Bad Bunny's not going to perform.
No, Bad Bunny's going to. Green Day will just be performing before the halftime show. Bad Bunny's got the halftime show.
Oh.
Charlie Puth will sing the national anthem.
What's about TPUSA performing? What's that about?
Well, I'll tell you. So anyway, you got Green Day going to perform. You got Charlie Puth, who will sing the national anthem. Charlie Puth is very well known. I like Charlie Puth because he's so talented. I doubt he's going to do as good as, what's his name that did the halftime show that everybody loved, the country singer? What's that guy's name? Oh, shoot. Zach will tell me. But anyway, Charlie Puth will sing the national anthem this time. Brandy Carlisle will perform the America the Beautiful. Coco Jones will basically perform too. So they got a lot of performance. Now, there's alternative counter program show they're talking about as well, Sheriff.
Yeah.
A separate group, Turning Point USA, will be hosting what they call All-American halftime show on Super Bowl Sunday that'll air concurrently with Bad Bunny's performance.
So on a different network?
That's what I'm not sure. They say this alternative performance is promoted as a patriotic, family-friendly event with artists.
Good.
Like,
turn the channel. I mean, yeah, I wasn't going to watch it. I wasn't going to watch halftime, and I don't even know.
Yeah,
if
you
I'm
are.
gonna watch the.
Because you know who you're going to watch if you watch the TPUSA version?
No.
You're going to see Kid Rock.
Oh yeah, okay, like him.
Brantley Gilbert.
Yeah.
Lee Brice. And Gabby Barrett, who was, second runner-up or something like that on American Idol, does a great job. I've seen Gabby perform. Country singer, does a great job.
Yeah.
It'll be streamed on TPUSA social channels and various partner outlets around the 8 p.m. halftime window. So what people need to do really is send a clear message. Turn off Bad Bunny. Right. Turn on TPUSA's halftime event. It's going to be incredible.
I'm going to do it.
Anyway. I think it's great. All kinds of people are starting to do their own Super Bowl themes, though, because they feel like, hey, it's a virtual event inside the game, but you can watch the other halftime show, click back. I think it's great news. Anyway, we've got a whole lot more to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Movies and... No, I'm just kidding. We got to talk about some arrests. You know what? I'm just telling you right now, we've always been saying, how come there's no arrests going on? It all starts now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm proud to say it all starts now. You're watching and listening to Liberty Roundtable Live, the Good Sheriff, and yours truly continuing seconds on your favorite news the networks refuse to use station. Yeah, we had a great time talking about films. You got to check out the first half hour of the show. Kind of breaks things down for you in kind of a fun, entertaining way. I really recommend people watch the Turning Point USA halftime show. Just another example of where Turning Point's doing a great job, even though many criticize Turning Point now. I think it's wrong. Many people criticize Candace Owens. I think that's wrong. I think everybody ought to be able to pursue what they think and believe. And, you know, we don't need to attack people relentlessly or pick sides. We can just say, hey, you know what? Candace has brought a lot of good information to the table. Do I agree with everything? No. But at the same time, hey, Erica Kirk has done a tremendous job. There's concerns about her. What's true, what's not? We don't know. But we need to be very careful, in my opinion, when it comes to these kinds of things, because the truth oftentimes is stranger than fiction. Melania, basically, speaking of her in her movie, I wish that there was a movie about her life and about her coming to America and about her meeting Donald, and it'd be a love romance story, and it'd be her whole life, and it would be, you know, her modeling career and all the different things that she's done and her philanthropy work. And, you know, what has she done in the White House or as the first lady for the first 4 years back in the, you know, and then now, you know, we see 20 days up to, you know, President Trump's inauguration in 2025, but I'd like to see more of her life and all the details, because Melania is known for her Be Best campaign, Sheriff. And that's a campaign that's designed to stop children from bullying and protect people. And it's more of a call for civility like I'm involved in, etc. And so she just released a statement that's interesting, too, and is being eclipsed by other news. Headline says, Melania's bold AI message to American youth. Ready? Use it as a tool, but do not let it replace your personal intelligence. Do not let it affect your ability to think. Use it as a tool. And I always say it differently in tech. Make sure tech serves you. Tech does not own you. But I really want to commend her for this. Yeah. She was at a national student focused AI education event, and Melania Trump told young Americans, hey, you can use it to fuel creativity and learning. That's great, but it should never replace your own intellectual efforts and or your personal intelligence. I think it's a great message at this time, Sheriff.
Oh, it is, Sam. And as soon as somebody ever mentions anything about limiting children access to AI and the internet, um, my daughter Lucy and her husband have made it a specific rule and goal in their family that their children are extremely limited from the internet, and they always have been, always. And uh, Jordan, her husband, has said that the internet is for stupid people, and in a lot of ways, I think that's true. You can just become completely uh, mind dead, doing these mindless things on the internet. How it controls people, how it creates depression with teenagers, and the attacks that happens, and the victimization that happens on the internet. You parents should be the ones, but there are countries right now that outlaw internet usage at certain ages, and you know what? It might be a good idea, or it might be too much government, might be overreach by government. Families and parents should be in charge of making sure that this does not happen. And I've seen one or two of my grandkids that have been victimized by the internet and the threats that are there. And we have got to be careful. This is something that parents should be taking charge of, not government. But it's just a sign of the time that governments are doing this and restricting it because of how dangerous it is.
Amen. And I think we really need to kind of understand a lot about this stuff, though. It's like, hey, I agree that AI is a great tool. A lot of times a kid has a tough time starting a paper. Let's say they're supposed to write a paper or an essay or something. Yeah. Kids just can't seem to get started. And if AI can help them get kind of a starting point, that's really good. If AI can check their grammar, if AI can go ahead and help with spelling and formatting and generate ideas, or remind you of a bunch of stories that you could use, I think there's some real value in AI if it's used correctly. But as she says, AI needs to be your assistant, not your leader. And that's really the point that she's making. And I think she's right about that. And I really like her efforts on the youth. So much so, Sheriff, that we bought the domain bebestpress.com. And we're starting a good news site patterned after Melania's Be Best campaign.
Well, way to go. I totally agree with that. That, like I said, I think she's a class act. I think she's has set a tremendous example for the rest of us and for the Democrat Party. Sam, when you talk about civility, you look at what the Republicans and Democrats do, especially the Democrats. I think they're so completely out of control. They're so hypocritical. I mean, when you look up the definition of hypocrisy in the dictionary or on the internet, all you have to do is show pictures of Democrats, leading Democrats. Every single one of them have been in favor of deportation in their careers.
Yes, of course. In fact, it was Hillary Clinton that even talked about a border wall at one point and stuff,
of
right?
Of course. Yeah. And Hillary Clinton did, this is really crazy. I didn't know this. She was actually the president of the Young Republicans in college. Yeah. I mean, and so, it's, folks, come on.
These people have a credibility crisis. And sadly, I think the Republicans are much better than the Democrats in many ways, even though it seems like there's not a diamond difference between the two. In many ways, critical ways, there is, and we got to acknowledge that. But I'm just surprised, though. The Republicans really have nothing to run on this election, this midterm, except for we're better than the Democrats. Please trust us and please give us more time. They voted us into oblivion with the bills and the spending, called the Big Beautiful Bill. Sadly, they haven't really gotten rid of a lot of government. They've tried hard, but judges have blocked them at every turn. I mean, it's been disaster in many, many ways. I don't know what they're going to run on. I mean, Trump has a lot to run on. Trump has done his best to lock down the border and to remove immigrants. He's done a more pro-life than any other president. I can point to a lot of things President Trump has done, but Congress has just failed to back him is the problem.
They have been missing in action. I think they'll run on the Trump successes. If that's going to be the
And I think that's
relative
wrong because they've been a stumbling block to most of his successes. His successes will be temporary as another executive decides to overrule what he's done, unless Congress would codify what he's doing. And if they would, that could be their incredible legacy, but they've missed the mark already.
Well,
It's almost too late.
I don't think they're going to have any other choice, but because I already think the Republicans have been missing in action as far as just pointing out that we are the party of law and order. Look what the Democrats have done. They're actually inviting and trying to defend the pedophiles, the international terrorists, the human traffickers, the cartels, the drug dealers, corruption, and they need to go for that. They need to go after that. Whether it's true or not that they were actually doing that is immaterial. They have got to do that.
Yeah, because you've got to act. You've got to focus on what you're going to be doing for we the people, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, isn't that kind of the main point here?
But the civility thing, I think the Democrats are way out. And what are they going to do? Oh yes, we tried to get along. Oh yes, we're tolerant. We're tolerant, and yet they go after anything and everything that is basic and fundamental values of about Americanism, and they're way. I've never seen anything so absolutely absurd, ridiculous, and evil that what the Democrats are doing.
Yeah. Anyway, very strange, but all I can tell you is we'll see what happens with that one for sure. Anyway, I really appreciate Melania and her efforts, and I really wish that we would see a higher profile from her on these efforts of civility, on these efforts of I want to campaign for civility. I want to be best press. I want to hear good news, and it's very difficult to find good news stories, Sheriff.
Yeah, that's kind of why I liked talking about the movies a little bit, because Song Sung Blue was, I think, great news. I think it was beautiful. And obviously, they've already done a movie about Neil Diamond's life. But his music stands alone. His voice was very unique.
Oh, it's iconic for sure.
He had that raspy, tough sounding voice. And he's been amazing. I mean, he's changed American culture with his song "Sweet Caroline." I mean, it's sung at baseball games.
Oh yeah, everybody in the crowd's going bomb, bomb, bomb.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. So I mean, he wasn't as big as the Beatles, but in a lot of ways, he was pretty close.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Donald Trump says, quote, "People will soon be prosecuted for the rigged 2020 election." Do you believe him, Sheriff?
Well, after I saw that 28 judges got arrested, I'm thinking I maybe think he's on something.
Let's talk about it, folks. I sure pray it's true. I think Bill and Hillary need to be in jail for denying the subpoenas in the first place, but now they claim they'll cooperate. I'm sure they'll just get there and can't remember anything, though. Hold tight. More in seconds. So Trump says people will soon be prosecuted for their involvement in the 2020 rigged election. I like how Donald Trump says rigged. The election was rigged. It's like the guys that always say racketeering, Sheriff. It's kind of funny. Yeah. Anyway, so it's a rigged election. But the problem is we're starting to really want something to happen so badly, Sheriff. We want accountability so much in America, transparency so much in America, that I think there's wild stories out there. So the headline says FBI arrests 28 judges who were secret cartel leaders. And I guess they were, judges by day, drug empire runners by night kind of a thing. The problem is there's a video out about it, but I don't find any truth to the story, Sheriff. I just can't document the facts. And I think if that was true, you would think that President Trump would be promoting this everywhere. And so I wish it was true, but I'm not sure that I believe that it is, right?
Yeah, it would be the biggest story in the world. 28 judges on a 7-year FBI investigation was what they called it. I noticed when I was looking at the story, because the sheriff sent that story to both you and me, that there was another one about a woman judge, a female judge in Phoenix area that was actually being taken in, but I didn't get to look at that one yet. And the thing of it is, we shouldn't have to look anywhere. This would be bold. Every network would be covering this.
They would be forced to cover it. It would be such a big reality story, whether they like to cover it or not. They'd be forced to admit to it. I can't find any mainstream sources that mention this thing.
Oh,
Secret cartel leaders, how they're judges by day and they ran drug empires by night or whatever. I just don't see the evidence for it. Is the problem.
And I didn't know the guy that did the video presentation, like he's a news reporter or something, was saying, and he gave it, but I've never heard of him.
I've never heard of him, and I also, though, in the video, it's a long video, kind of. It's like 17 minutes long or whatever. Right. I don't see any real sources that he documents, really, right?
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, I don't mean to be critical of it. Here's the problem: I wish it were true.
It would be obvious that this story is out there. It would be everywhere.
Yeah, and I'm just telling you to go look anywhere you want to. I just don't see it. It's not on the top of CNN or Fox or MSNBC or ABC or CBS. I mean, I can keep going. And, you could say, well, Sam, you don't have to go to those guys for, the credible truth. I know. I get it. But at the same time, I kind of go,
it would be
one of them would mention it, even if they minimized it, even if they didn't tell the whole story and they kind of, I don't know what you want to say, kind of manipulated the details of it. I'm telling you that they would at least be acknowledging it.
Right. No, that's weird. Obviously, I just saw it this morning, and I thought, man, this is going to be blowing up the news agencies all over the world. So, man, another AI thriller, I guess. But we don't. Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't look like it's true, just for the lack of attention it's receiving when it's a worldwide story. So,
well, and that's the thing, and maybe this guy's on it, and we'll see details about it later. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm just telling you, Donald would be running with that big time.
Yeah, but Bill and Hillary, now that's another story.
They're just not going to remember anything when they go testify. They're just be like, I don't really remember. I don't recall. I'm just not sure. You remember what is the word is? I mean, we're going to go back to that kind of stuff. Both of them are attorneys. Both of them know how to work the systems pretty good. That kind of stuff.
They're going to show a picture of Bill Clinton, in a jacuzzi with a young girl, and they're going to say, "Is this picture of you?" And he'll go, "Well, it depends on what is me." What does it?
He'll just be like, "I'm not sure if it was me. I wasn't there."
Yeah. It's a doctored photo. It's an AI photo. Whatever he wants to.
It's a deep fake. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. Now this is a real story, though. The DHS orders immediate body camera deployment for federal immigration agents in Minneapolis. What do you think of that, Sheriff? You for that?
Pretty expensive, but
very expensive.
But most big city cops are doing it. Most police departments are doing it because to me, it seems like they don't trust their own cops. But to be able to verify every single step your officer is taking, I guess, that's a sign of the times because.
Yeah, the problem is, in my mind, is it leaves out so much relevant context oftentimes, though. Yes, you get exactly how it went down for the 23 seconds that we're see whatever, but you don't get the context and the circumstances and the lead up to, and without that relevancy and that in context, I'm not sure that it's fair.
Yeah, and if I'm an officer, do I want that? I mean, I don't like officers that are part of television shows. Cops, COPS, and there's a network, camera, and producers, and makeup people, maybe that's not true, but it just seems like an officer always playing to the camera. I don't want that.
Yes, not only playing to the camera, but other officers, though, because they're kind of camera shy, honestly don't step up and do their job and provide the security and the safety and the protection and the accountability that they might if they were not on camera too. There's that side of it, right?
Right. Yeah. And so is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? When I was a cop, if we had to do that, I would have been really ticked off about it. I would have been, look, if you don't trust me, don't hire me. And I went through all these tests and background checks and everything else. But at the same time, as an officer, if I'm getting accused of something, I want to have some immediate backup. I want to have the truth right there in front of me. And so I don't know, right? As far as bringing credibility and help to the DHS officers and ICE and all of them, it's probably a good idea.
I mean, in the circumstance of today, when everything is videoed and everybody relies on that, I think that's fine. But I even think of sporting events where they literally can, slow it down and watch it and back up, and even that still leaves controversy of what happened in details and everything else. And so it isn't the definitive, folks, and we go to it like it is, and it's not oftentimes. And we need to be really, really careful. In my opinion, what would be the most valuable would be to teach cops, police officers, sheriffs, everybody in law enforcement to understand that they're not police officers. They need to be peace officers. And they need to realize that the citizenry can become their eyes and ears. And there can be a partnership that can be tremendously valuable. But you got to do community policing to get that done. You got to know the people in your community. You got to kind of walk the streets, and you got to be on the ground, and you got to know who's who and who's causing trouble and who's not and who doesn't belong. In other words, who's coming to the neighborhood from somewhere else. And the only way you know that is if you're intimately familiar with the community policing idea. You're really there, present with your community. I think that would go further for de-escalation than anything else, in my opinion, Sheriff.
Yeah, I do too. And they have really forgotten the basics when it comes to law enforcement training. Does any police academy in the entire country teach about the significance of the oath of office? Then why do we take it? And does anybody even know why we take it? And so
it's so a valuable point.
Yeah, you cannot bypass the basics and expect everybody to get the rest. And so, I've been preaching that for 30 years. So.
You're right about that. All right. Well, this last tidbit I think is really important and relates. The John Birch Society has been saying for a long time, jbs.org, this headline: support your local police and keep them independent. Support your local police and keep them independent. Now, I like to apply that to the sheriff because, again, there's a big distinction between somebody that's appointed and somebody that's elected. But nevertheless, what we don't need is these national police everywhere on every topic. Everything becomes a national issue. We need to really push back against that and say, hey, this is local jurisdiction, necessarily so. And we need to realize that if we can keep our, local police independent, that's what we need the most, Sheriff.
Yeah, it is, Sam. And independent means answerable to the people. And even within that, if the people ask officers or their sheriff to do something unconstitutional, he has to tell them no. I promised I would uphold and defend the Constitution, thus protect your rights, and that's what I will do. And I will not violate that oath for anyone.
All right. Final story of the hour. A federal judge blocked the deportation of Haitian nationals under, quote, temporary protected status. It's a program that was created by Congress, by the way. And the judge ruled that the president lacks the authority because Congress created the law, and unless Congress gets rid of or changes the law, Donald's stuck. I think the judge is right on the facts, but we need Congress to do something here. This is a problem for these Haitians that literally committed fraud and ripped off America. They're criminals to the highest order. They even came into America on our good graces, and then they're criminals, and then, hey, now we're protecting them because of this, quote, congressional law, where while Congress sits there derelict in their duty, Sheriff.
Yeah, I've seen that, and it's time to get back to common sense and common law and our Constitution, Sam.
Sheriff, CSPOA.org. I'm Sam Bushman. We are syndicated by the Loving Liberty Networks, lovingliberty.net. Spread the love. Tell the tale. Let everybody know about the broadcast, would you please? Every donation welcome as well. lovingliberty.net. I'm Sam Bushman. God save the Republic of the United States of America.